But it is such small steps, because every time you make one step, you're getting pushed back with the force of going backwards 5 steps. So for you to make one step, you really have to use a lot of force. If you open a business in Kenya, you're not opening it to make money. If you open a business in Kenya to make money, the money is there. But if you open that business because you're going to make money, you're going to be so quickly disappointed. You can go there, plan, I'm going to spend 100 million. And you go there, you realize 100 million, you can't even realize, is it a solar company or not? This company, I'm not going to say how many millions I've spent, but I can tell you, I'm sure somebody will probably laugh when I say my budget was 5 million. Bro, that 5 million is change to what I've spent. Excited about that because the legacy I want is for somebody, or when I leave, or when I die, I want to be somebody. I don't have any other way of saying it. Somebody, it will be a loss because I contribute to society. Man, I never thought you would ask. Even the bird now is more excited. Let me tell you, this, first of all, Bonsens means Benson. So I forget the English word, but anyway, I just mixed the letters of the word Benson, and then I made Bonsen. And then I added the S. It's almost like it belongs to me. And then I found out the word Bonsens in French, although I don't speak French really, that it means common sense. So it's common sense water. But the reason I made water, first of all, in the spirit of giving, like I said, I never thought about moving back to Kenya until recently, right? Like fully. Like, I cannot see myself moving. And the never has now kind of like gone. It's like, is when, right? I wanted to do something with solar. So I wasn't even thinking about water. I wanted to build a house and have it powered by solar because Kenya Power and Lighting, the power company over there, is garbage. So I don't know why I'm going to be paying all this money and it's hit or miss. Then I was also hesitant. I'm building a house. Who is going to live in it, right? So I'm just powering the thing, and people know it has power 365 days, but it's just a bunch of people just abusing it, or it's just a thing collecting dust over there. But so I wanted to build a house. Then I'm more interested in solar power, and so I wanted to do something that can get to the level where it can power a whole house. And it's possible. Then I decided, let me drop the idea of the house. But what can I do that I can use solar? Because I wanted to open a solar company, which I still hope I'll be able to do, and that's my plan. So then one day we were just talking about people having a water problem. I was like, wait a minute. I can get water for the village using solar. And that's why I built a solar. So the Bonsens is powered by 100% solar. There's no KPLC, there's no hydropower, The generator obviously is there for backup, and it has come into use, but it's solar power, 100%. So I built Bonsens, and I dug the borehole. I registered borehole, by the way, and I researched, and I found that water is needed, and I had planned to give it to the village. But then after I built it, and I saw how much money I spent, and then I started feeling, these people don't deserve the water, and not necessarily in a bad way. It's just like, these people don't even care about my water because they have the Kanjo water. And they were talking about this water. So now I have a purification system and everything. And my idea of putting it in a bottle was so I can prove to people it's drinkable water. And then naturally I was like, man, a minute, I can sell this water. And that's how this Bonsens came into being. So it started from a different idea, but then it culminated in like, I can bottle it and sell it. And so far it's been the best water. Anybody that has it, they say, first of all, they don't believe it's made there. Because it's made in my farm, in the village, in the same place where I grew up, where my dad and mom are laid to rest, where hopefully that's will be my resting place if everybody goes with my wishes. I don't want anybody burying me in America where I'm going to be forgotten. But Bonsens, so that's where it is. And if you look at the I don't want to call it the geography, whatever, the earth studies, that water is basically like you've plugged a straw and you're sucking water from the glaciers of Mount Kenya, So that's why I do it like that, and that's why I did it like that. So it's to prove solar power works to the people. So the power that's coming from that to power the machines that produce this water to make sure the water gets in the bottle and in your hands, it's like 5 times how much you need for a family home. So eventually, I'm hoping I'll be able to have people see if it's working for Bonsens Water 365 days, then I can trust him to install it in my house. And that's how Bonsens came into being in 2022. Yep. And I hope people get to buy it, man. It's pretty cool water. And it is fresh each time. What I'm hoping, and I'm accomplishing that in a small sense so I can see very clearly it's happening, I want to employ people, man, to give people hope. Look at me, I came from the village. I'm able to build that thing there. All the millions. It's taken me millions of shillings. So in a way, I feel I've helped the economy by building that thing. The people that I'm employing, I have 12 employees, right? Full-time, right? Those are people who I believe now are people who would not otherwise have resources. And the first thing I tell them is, I'll make sure your salary is paid. So before you have to worry about what you have to do, don't worry. We should not be discussing your salary. So if by the time I hire you, I'm ready to hire you. Now I wanted to get to the point where it is paying for itself, right? Speaking of government, the government in Kenya is the worst. The government is the enemy of small business, This bottle, right? I sell it at wholesale for 27 shillings. And in the store, if I'm going to sell it as retail, it's probably like 40 shillings. Out of that 40 shillings, more than half is taxes. Water. It's not alcohol. It's not something I've manufactured, right? It's not like I'm polluting. Even when the campaign started for the new government, they said green energy. They said they're going to support or subsidize green companies. When I researched to open the water company, there was no excise duty, which is another tax. They put tax on water. I don't know why. And it's always because it's one person. Because the government is so small, there's no constitution, standards. It's just like one day is tax for this, So that's what my goal is. Long term, that's my goal. The company will sustain itself. If I'm not there, I don't have to support it out of my own salary, out of my own earnings, out of my own pocket. It is supporting itself. So we are getting there. But it is such small steps, because every time you make one step, you're getting pushed back with the force of going backwards 5 steps. So for you to make one step, you really have to use a lot of force. My experience, and I don't think it's any different from anybody else, if you open a business in Kenya, you are not opening it to make money. If you open a business in Kenya to make money, the money is there. But if you open that business because you're going to make money, you're going to be so quickly disappointed. Because nothing costs what's on the label in Kenya. Nothing. Figuratively and metaphorically. Figuratively, metaphorically, and literally. Because, like I said, taxes. You're always getting surprises, regardless of how prepared you are. And then if you do things the proper way, you are exposing yourself. Like me, my hole is registered. My borehole is registered. My company is registered with KRA. So everything I do by the book is registered with KEBS, Kenya Bureau of Standards, right? That means now I'm exposing myself because they know I exist. So when they feel they go looking for me. But the people who don't register, and they are people I'm competing with in open market, they don't have all those expenses. So you're wondering, and then I don't want to risk. First of all, I want to make sure I'm giving people, forget even all that, forget the money. I want to make sure if I tell people I'm giving them clean water, I'm giving them clean water. But some people will just package the water that comes out of the tap in a bottle and package it. So you're just paying for the packaging, but you're paying the same price I'm charging for this bottle. So if you're starting a company in Kenya, especially if you're in diaspora, you are thinking just because you have the capital, it's going to be easy. There's so much, we can't even call it bureaucracy, man. There's so much things you have to jump through to get things done the proper way. Nothing happens in time. They are very quick to penalize you, but the minute you go to the government office, the systems don't work. They have you registered wrong. The stuff you paid is not reflected. And then you prove, hey, you're saying I'm late because I didn't pay May 27th, but I paid May 1st. Oh, well, you paid May 1st, but it hasn't reflected in the system. But I'm showing you I paid. And so you are having constant battles like that. Anything. I have bought land. You buy land, there is no such thing as a smooth sale. A smooth sale transaction. If it's smooth for you, that means there's somebody over there doing everything for you, and in the trenches, over there bleeding with scratches, and then they hand you the title. And even when you get that title, it's not over. I have a land case which started in 2017. My own land. Somebody claiming I stole that land. How did I steal it? And I was handed the title. Now I've been caught trying to prove. Up to now, it's still open. And there's no end in sight. And I have lawyers. I have proven everything. And to prove that thing, it got to the point where even my witnesses were getting beaten. Not like figuratively, like being hunted and choppered, being told, if you show up to court, we're going to take something. We're going to take your land or we're going to kill you. You know? It's ridiculous. Kenya, my car, the car that my company car, the one I use, we got stopped about 2 weeks ago. And the guy, they have a scanner now. They scan it. Instead of looking at to make sure you have that card that shows that you have insurance, they scanned it. They said, you don't have insurance. I'm like, of course they called me. The good thing now with the way we have connection, right? They called me. They're saying we don't have insurance. I even laughed. I'm like, oh, really? You woke me for this? Because obviously the time difference when it's daytime. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't have insurance? They call my lawyer. That's the other thing. If you have a business, one of your primary expenses should be a lawyer. So that people call the lawyer immediately. They call the lawyer is like, yes, we have insurance and everything. By the time all that discussion is happening, they have already taken the car, they have put in the police station. Now you know, regardless of the outcome, whether you are right or not, is going to... Starting a business, well, I think that was more than 10 minutes ago, but either way, I think starting a business in Kenya is, I said earlier, it's not for the weak. I had to use such simplistic words and then cliches and sweeping statements, but it's true. Like I was saying, the government is, instead of being the person who elevates you, right? And I'm sure anybody can say that about any government. They can say that to the American government. But anyway, whatever, it's Kenya. They are really your enemy. They promise that if the new idea of green energy or being green, they have subsidies. And the money is there, by the way, to include our governor, Cecily Mbarire. She has money for the green. And I've tried everything to invite her there. I've even have water. And she's one of the people, the governor's office is one of the offices that owes me a lot of money. So I'm like, how am I supposed to sustain employing people when you are not paying me anyway? Let me not get wrapped into that. But it's not for the weak. Because nothing, the price of doing business in Kenya, the price tag is not even close to what you pay, you know? And then going back to mental health, man, we spoke about that earlier. Mentally, it's a challenge because nothing operates, especially if you're in America or you're in diaspora. Let me speak for America. Nothing works the way it works in America, man. You expect if I pay something, I'm supposed to get the services. If you tell me I'm supposed to pay for this license and it's for a year, it's good for a year. If I paid this much this year, this is how much I'm going to pay next year. If it's supposed to last a year, it's a year. You know, things like that. In Kenya, every day is a box of chocolates. Every day you don't know what you're going to get. So you have to really love. I don't want to say love, hate. It's a labor of love. I don't know if that's what it means literally, but those are the words that come to me. So you have to really want to do it. So I would say when you're starting a business in Kenya, making money should be the last thing you are focused on. Because when the money comes, let it come when it comes, and it's going to come. But if you go there and money is coming, or you will not be losing money, you're going to close that business within a month. Everybody that I know, everybody that started a business, my own experiences, this is not my first business. I'm hoping it's not going to be my last. Like I said, I want to start a solar. The solar is my primary. It's impossible to say. You can go there, plan, I'm going to spend 100 million. And you go there, you realize 100 million, you can't even realize, is it a solar company or not? You know, this company, I'm not going to say how many millions I've spent, but I can tell you, I'm sure somebody will probably laugh when I say my budget was 5 million. Bro, that 5 million is change to what I've spent. And the government is not there for you. Even the thing, by you being registered, by doing things properly, by you going by the book, you are more exposed than the person who is cutting corners. And these are the people who I'm literally competing with in the supermarket. Speaking of supermarket, my water is not in the supermarket. Why? Maybe it's good for me that I want direct sales to the customer, but the supermarkets, they are not going to take your product until I market it, until there's a demand for it. So to me, I'm like, then why am I going to sell it to you? If I have a demand, why would I come to you? Then, when you give it to them, they want you to basically fight for that shelf space. So in essence, having a space in a supermarket, I would have to knock somebody off. They have a zero-sum game. They have a zero-sum approach to things. At least for the water. I'm not going to say that there's a reason why they're successful, but for the person who is supplying them, it's zero-sum. I have to lose for them to win, right? For me to win, somebody else has to lose instead of a win-win. Oh, Benson, this is a new product. It's in Embu. Boom. Yesterday I was in a launch, which had been advertised as an exhibit for a company that's opening. When I showed up over there, and it's an Embu company, and I've been selling them water, I've even sponsored some of the events. They already had Keringate water, right, in Nairobi. And I'm in Nairobi, and I was invited to this event, and I showed up. Why the hell do you have Keringate water and I have Bonsens Water, and you are an Embu company? Now, I'm not mad at the guy, because I don't know. Maybe the person who was told to go, and then they have this, and then it's also cultural. There's some people who feel because it's made from Embu, it diminishes the quality, which is almost funny. You know what I mean? So things like that. They are making them, this is international standard. Kebs. It's already past flying colors. Anytime they would show up, anytime Keb showed up, I test my own water at a minimum 2 weeks to make sure it's what is on the label right here, right? On the chemical part, you know. I don't know anybody else who does that. Even the big companies. They're just getting water from Oasco, from Oasco is Embu. The county council and purifying it or whatever. If they say they're getting it from a spring, what are you doing? What are your standards? You know what I'm saying? So there's so many things I can say, but I don't want to make it like I'm complaining because I'm doing it. But it's just like for anybody who wants to do it, do understand you have to really compete. Not even necessarily compete with other water people. It's with the people you think would be helping you. Yeah. So that's how business is. Legacy. I'm excited about that because the legacy I want is for somebody, or when I leave, or when I die, I want to be somebody. I don't have any other way of saying it. Somebody, it will be a loss because I contribute to society. I don't want when I die, or when I'm not on this earth, or when I'm no longer participating in the community, people are like, this guy, we are glad he left. Or even worse, my children, which are really my legacy. When you see them coming, those are Benben's kids, you know. I don't want that to be the case. I would like it to be where if I'm gone, of course, it will be because I'm gone, people to be like, man, he's really irreplaceable. You know, people say that thing in passing, oh, he's irreplaceable, big boots to fill. That's what I want.